So I need you to have this on the front somewhere. Let me just quickly, so I need you to be able to go from, I need you to be able to go from probability to odds. I need you to be able to go from probability to odds. And what I tell my students is that to go from probability to odds, you will have to subtract. There will be some sort of subtraction required, either up here in your brain, or you will have to use a calculator. It's up to you. So what do I mean by that? If it's the probability of snowing, if you're told that it's 7 out of 10, and I ask you, what are the odds in favor of snowing? What would you do? Well, first of all, hopefully you know that you've got to start with the colon, and then it's 7, 2. What goes on this side? 3. But this is where the subtraction comes in. I take my total and I subtract the numerator. So this is 7 to 3. Please never put the denominator on the other side and leave it like that. That's an automatic -1. Okay, so that is something that I really want you to just nail it every time. I also need you to be aware of that quite often the probability is either a decimal or it is a percent. Okay, so note, if you're given 70%, I want you to know that that's what, 70 over 100, right? Percent is always percent, per 100. Okay. If they give you the percentage as probability as a decimal, and you forgot you slept during, I mean, it was COVID years, right? Junior high. So you just multiply that by 100, that's 80%, and now all of a sudden you have a number out of 100 as well, right? So this is just a note. I don't want you to be, taken back by percentages, decimals. Like, you still know how to turn it into a percentage, and once you have a percentage, then you have it like this, right? You turn it, once you have your fraction, you should be easily be capable of turning that into odds, okay? And then right underneath it, I'm gonna go odds to probability. And that's gonna require you to add, okay? If you go from odds to probability, you're gonna have to add. So if it's in favor, right? In favor of red, let's say, the odds in favor of red, let's say you have 2 to 5. I know this is maybe a very basic question, but what does that mean if it's in favor of red? What are those two numbers telling me right now? 2 are, yeah.
The first one is red, and then the second one is what's up.
In other words, the opposite of red. Yeah? I just want to make sure we understand that. That's what this is saying. 2, and what's left over that's not red. That could be white, yellow, green, whatever. This could be a mix of a bunch of colors. We just know they're not red. So that is important. So if it's like this, then you know this is red. This is not red. Okay? And so how do we turn that into a probability of red? If you want to go probability of red, the first thing I would do is I would add these two up. Okay, so 2 plus 5. And then I grab the 2 because I know the 2 represents the number of reds. So that would be 2 out of 7. Okay? So this is the section that deals with going from odds to probability. I would make it a lot smaller. I'm going, right, this is much larger than it should be on your study sheet, should be very small, but then you know quickly like what needs to be done. The next one is odds to odds. That one is so easy, guys. Please remember that. This is what I mean. And I'm doing this because I know that when it's review time, you're not going through your whole booklet looking for these little nuggets, right? I want it to be in the cover for a reason. Okay? I actually want you to have this on your study sheet ASAP. If you're going from odds to odds, okay, so odds of and odds against, please don't be adding, subtracting, don't do anything like that. If I tell you that the odds in favor of red is 2 to 5, okay? You need to write this down or else you're not going to pay attention. Then the odds against, what would we do? We keep the same format. We're not adding, we're not subtracting. We're just going to go 5 to 2. That's it. It's just the order that changes. So odds of means that this is, I'm going to use A, not A. That's my standard, right? This is it happening. This is it not happening. The instances where it doesn't happen. If it's odds against, then the not happening is first and happening comes second. Okay. So this is also something, please do not add, do not subtract when you're going from odds to odds. The only time you add or subtract is if you're going from probability to odds or odds to probability. How's that for a Friday before the break? I hope that summarizes it. This is like bare minimum. Everything else I can kind of deal with, but this, you need to make sure you have this right. And again, if you're given probability as a percentage, turn it into a fraction, then you turn it over into odds. That's my suggestion for you. Don't have decimals in your odds. I've never encountered that situation, but please make sure there are no decimals. This is what I mean. If you're ever in a situation where you go 0.8 and this is 0.2, that's no bueno, okay? So you gotta kind of just multiply everything by 10. Then it's 8 to 2. That is okay. This is not okay. I'm quite certain you don't even need this on your study sheet, but that way you have it taken care of. Okay, let's stop this here.